Okay, so I made it to Jacksonville, and this is a true road game already. Only destination on the 49ers schedule, not reachable by a direct flight from SFO. So it took me a good 9 hours to get here. Transfer in Houston, everything was fine. We land in Jacksonville, and lo and behold, there is an unexpected plane sitting in our gate. And there's a lot of gates open at the whole airport, but I guess the way this works is that airlines have contracts to use specific gates. So we had to wait a good 55 minutes for the fueling trucks to come and refuel the plane that was in our gate. They refueled that plane, it backed up, and we finally got in. So hour delayed into Jacksonville, showed up in the hotel room. This is probably the worst lighting that I've ever had to do a show. So please don't take these shows for granted. The only reason that you could see me right now and I'm not in the pitch black is because I have dragged a lamp across the room, pointed it kind of at my face at the best angle I could point it. And so it wouldn't be too harsh and bright. I literally put a white t-shirt around the lamp to soften the glow. The reason I'm going through all this, Paul, plus there's no food for me right now. So I'm not happy about that. But there's a game tomorrow, and I'll be ready for it. And the reason why I'm going through all of this as well, the 49ers have a true road game against Jacksonville tomorrow. Their backs, I don't want to say up against the wall, but they're going to have to scrap and claw for a win. Things haven't been going well for the 49ers. Past 3 games, all losses. They are coming off of a bye week, so it's not like they're exhausted trying to stagger into the end of the round like they were against the Bengals, but they've had to travel across country. Hopefully their hotel setup is nice. I'm not really sure where the 49ers are right now. They're not here, obviously. But I am in Jacksonville. I'm across the river from the stadium. I'm going to have to put stuff together, kind of like I put it together for this show, to go and do a game tomorrow. And the 49ers are going to have to pick up all the pieces from this 3-game losing streak, and they're going to have to try to win a game tomorrow. So that's what this 49ers Jags prediction is all about. They're playing a very, very good Jacksonville team that is the hottest squad in the NFL. 5 straight wins. They're good at home, and there's a whole heck of a lot of momentum on the home team side. The 49ers, meanwhile, well, they're just trying to conjure up some of that energy. I will say that in the past, week 10 has marked a turnaround tradition for this 49ers team. And if you take a look at the article up on the screen, it's linked in the description. It's what I talked about. Week 9, 2021, when the 49ers just got smeared by the Cardinals, I feel that might be the best comp for what happened to the 49ers here in week 8 of 2023. Obviously, week 9 was a bye week. Better opponent this time around, right? Not Colt McCoy and the Cardinals, but Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Just destroyed and exhausted and terrible 49ers defense. And there were too many giveaways on the offensive side of the ball to keep up from San Francisco. Well, the 49ers in week 10 of 2021 played Monday Night Football against the Rams, and they decided to start hogging the ball. They reestablished their identity. They played a pristine game without any giveaways, but they also were able to run the ball 44 times, own the line of scrimmage, convert the third downs when necessary. You got to give credit across the board, from Jimmy Garoppolo to Deebo Samuel to the offensive line to the defense, which helped the 49ers get a lead, right? Remember Jimmy Ward with his pick 6 in 2021? So the 49ers need to do a similar thing against Jacksonville, and this is on the road. Instead of a 7-2 Rams team visiting Levi Stadium, this is a 6-2 Jacksonville team in an early window for the 49ers. Again, they're going to have to find a way to make it work. But championship medal teams find a way to make it work. They don't lose 4 in a row, right? We've seen teams win the Super Bowl recently after losing 3 in a row, including those 2021 Rams, where the 49ers beat 31-10 in week 10. But you can't lose 4 in a row. 4 in a row would be... you'd have to really start straining to find the historical comparisons. Oh, okay, maybe the 49ers could do this. Maybe the 2012 Ravens lost 4 in a row because they were one of the worst Super Bowl winners ever, and they happened to beat the 49ers. Anyway, time for the 49ers to buckle up, get this win tomorrow, because they've lost 3 in a row. They're healthy now. We'll see about Trent Williams. His status is not official yet, but I think that he's going to play. That would be my gut feeling, based on the fact that he practiced on Thursday and he practiced on Friday. And obviously the 49ers are desperate now for a win. It's not a must win, but they are very, very starved for a win. We'll put it that way. Next to Trent Williams, it's going to be John Feliciano next to Aaron Banks. This is the only certain player ruled out for the 49ers, is Aaron Banks at left guard. So John Feliciano, who started all season for the Giants last year at center, who last played left guard and started at left guard for the Buffalo Bills in 2021, that season where the 49ers beat the Rams in Week 10. Feliciano is going to play at left guard. And who knows? Kyle Shanahan said the 49ers had been wanting to integrate Feliciano into the roster anyway for a while because they're not getting great play at center from Jake Brendel or right guard from Spencer Burford. So this is a natural opportunity to play Feliciano instead of Banks at left guard, and maybe we see him in the starting lineup for the rest of this season. But he told me, Feliciano did, that if Trent Williams plays, it's going to make life a whole lot easier for him. Just the power with which Williams plays, the technique with which he excels. I mean, you're right next to him. He can erase a lot of mistakes. He can kick back in, help out on some of those stunts and some of those games when there's a pass off going on. Trent Williams is a cheat code for the 49ers offensive line. So his status, we're going to watch really closely over the course of the next 12 hours or so. I do think the 49ers offense has to shield the defense. I believe in complementary football. The 49ers haven't been playing it, but when they're at their best, the offense is fueling the defense and the defense is fueling the offense. When you talk about complementary football within the offense itself, let's see if they could run better. This is the number 3 Jacksonville defense they're going against. They've already played the number 1 Cleveland defense. It didn't go well, right? They've got the Baltimore Ravens, who have the number 2 defense in the league, coming in next month on Christmas Day. Well, the 49ers can't be looking ahead to that. They have to focus here on Jacksonville. And a big reason why you want Trent Williams playing in that left tackle spot is because Josh Allen, the great edge rusher for Jacksonville, he rushes almost exclusively against left tackle. But there's so much discipline across this entire 3-4 unit. Jacksonville leads the league with 18 takeaways, second in NFL with 11 interceptions. They are a very good bend but don't break defense. So the key for Brock Purdy is going to be patient. Maybe a big Christian McCaffrey game, maybe a big George Kittle game. George Kittle this week compared this Jags defense to the 2021 Rams, who are also a 3-4, who also made you drive methodically down the field because if you got too aggressive, they'd pick you off or they'd notch a big sack on a big 5 or 7 step drop, and that would turn into a takeaway. The 49ers, when they beat the Rams in 2021, opened with an 18-play, 93-yard drive. 18 plays. It's not easy to go 18 plays without making a mistake, but it might be necessary. The 49ers might have to have that kind of execution against this Jacksonville defense, which is very, very good at keeping stuff in front of them. Patience for Brock Purdy leads to a 49ers effort that can shield their defense. Trent Williams is back. Maybe they could run a little bit. This is a top 5 run defense, though, so don't take it for granted. First 4 games of the season, Christian McCaffrey averaged 115 yards on the ground per game. In the most recent 4, Christian McCaffrey has averaged only 48 yards on the ground per game. So the 49ers are looking for a turnaround in that regard. On the defensive side of the ball, I think there are good matchups for the 49ers defense throughout. Jacksonville isn't a great offense. They're number 13 DVOA. We know the 49ers have been playing terribly on defense. We know all about Steve Wilks moving down to the field from the booth and Steve Wilks being publicly really rebuked by Shanahan for 2 straight weeks. First, Shanahan after the Minnesota game, unhappy about the cover 0 call. And then nobody would be happy with giving up 19 straight completions to an NFL opponent. That's what happened to the 49ers pass defense as they got pulverized by Cincinnati last week. So Wilks got moved down from the booth to the field, presumably for better communication. Will that communication help the 49ers run defense? They're not fixing any of their defensive problems unless they fix that against Travis Etienne and company. I do think it's a good matchup for the 49ers because, A, Jacksonville has one of the worst offensive lines in the league. Center Luke Fortner has really struggled. The right tackle, Anton Harrison, has really struggled. In both pass block and run block win rate metrics by ESPN, the Jags ranked number 31 out of 32 teams. Trevor Lawrence has had to get rid of the ball really quickly this year. Of course, the 49ers pass rush has not gotten the reward that I think it's deserved based on its play because the secondary hasn't held up in coverage. And, hey, the pass rush and the defensive linemen are equally to blame. I mean, not equally to blame, but let's put it this way. The defensive linemen of the pass rush are also to blame for some of the opportunities they're not getting because they're also not contributing fully towards stopping the run. 49ers run defense ranks number 26 DVOA. They were number 1 and number 2 DVOA in 2021 and 2022 in run defense. So go back to Arden Key if we want to talk about 2021. He always said, stop the run so you can have some fun. I think he brought that mantra over from LSU. Well, Chase Young is going to have to stop the run on his side. Nick Bosa's been doing a good job, but the other edge has to do a better job than it had been doing when Drake Jackson was in there getting pancaked by tight ends. The 49ers have to get rigid against the run. Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw have to be in better position against the run. Maybe Steve Wilks moving to the field, being able to see Warner and Greenlaw eye to eye, maybe that will help. I don't know if it will, but the 49ers need to figure out this run defense, which is ranked way down at the bottom of the pile after they were elite in recent seasons. If they can do that, if the coverage combinations are a little bit better, and I think that the coverage combinations will be better if the run defense is better because your down and distance is better, well, then the 49ers will shield themselves from these. I mean, it's been scorched earth against them over the past couple of weeks. So the offense shields the defense, and then the defense does its own job with the good matchups I think it has this week against the offensive line, against Evan Ingram. Isaiah Oliver shouldn't be a fish out of water if you put him on Evan Ingram, the tight end. He's 6'3". He's fast, obviously, but he's not shutterbug quick like Christian Kirk. Diamond Lenore should cover Christian Kirk if the 49ers are in man. And then Isaiah Oliver, just like he did a good job against Darren Waller, can match up against Evan Ingram. And I think that the 49ers have the pieces in this game to make Jacksonville's offense look mediocre. Whether or not they execute and whether or not Steve Wilks calls a good game, that remains to be seen. But at some point, you have to say the 49ers have too much talent and Wilks has too much experience to let this defense get scorched time and time again. I think the deadline pressure is going to help the 49ers. Like I said, I had to jerry-rig this together. My flight landed late. There was a 55-minute wait for the gate here in Jacksonville. Nothing is going right. Sometimes, though, that's what you need in the NFL, to rally the troops, to be able to assemble, to be able to get your back truly up against the wall and then fight off of that wall. So I think that's what the 49ers are going to be able to do in this true road game. We'll call the prediction 49ers 24, Jags 21. A tight win. It's going to be a stressful win, but it never seems to be easy to get this turned around unless you're playing the Rams. And if this is one of those 49ers-Rams game where they 49ers-Rams games where they turn around and blow a good team out by 3 touchdowns to get off the schneid, so be it. But I think the fact that this is on the East Coast, it's going to be an early body clock start against a red-hot Jacksonville team. I think the 49ers are going to have to scrap and claw for this one. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but I do think that they're going to avoid that 4th straight loss. So go ahead and check out the prediction. The link to it is in the description. Subscribe to The Athletic. Stay tuned for the stadium tour tomorrow and a whole heck of a lot of coverage. Don't take these shows for granted. I jerry-rig it sometimes. Today I did for sure. And the 49ers may have to jerry-rig a win tomorrow because it's not going to be easy with Jacksonville at home. Pay attention to Trent Williams' status, though. He can make it a whole lot easier for the 49ers. We'll talk to you soon.